Hello and welcome back to my channel. Excuse me, the lighting is so bad. I bought a brand new ring light which is still in its box upstairs. It's very dark today and I look an utter mess because I'm still very jet lagged and I have a little bit of a cold. But today's video is about something kind of a little bit different. I do want to talk about my eloping journey a little bit more. I didn't think it was a big deal. I kind of got married, not in secret, but I got married last Monday, um, in terms of when I'm filming this video. So I got married last week on the 16th of March. And it was very not secretive, but I didn't really tell people, right? Most people on Instagram will be like, yes, oh my God, I'm getting married. I've got a year to go, 6 months to go, blah, blah. I kind of didn't keep it a secret, but I didn't really mention it, right? I posted pictures about my bridal shower, blah, blah, blah. We knew it was happening. But we eloped, and I didn't think I would get a lot of DMs from other women, like maybe you ladies that are watching this, um, kind of ask about eloping, about what it is. How did you do it? Like, how was your family's reaction? And, what was your decision for it? And also, a lot of people mainly were asking me that they don't want a big Indian or Hindu wedding. They just want to elope and do what we did. Um, and they feel a lot of pressure from their families and their friends, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We decided to elope in Jamaica, for many reasons. I have always wanted to go to Jamaica. Like, I've got a list on my phone of bucket list places, and I've been very, very fortunate to have traveled to about 32 countries so far in my life, and I'm only 30, so I think that's a quite good going. The good thing is we live in Europe, so it's very easy to hop around those kind of countries. So the Caribbean, South America, Central America is one of the regions I've never visited, and neither has my now husband. So there was always something about Jamaica, the culture, the food. I love the music, I love reggae. Um, and it was just up there for me. I'd love to go to the Caribbean, but a lot of the other places, I didn't know much about the culture. I'm not sure how much there is to see in places like Barbados or the Bahamas or St. Lucia. Whereas Jamaica, there's a lot of culture there. There's a lot of things to see. So that was one. Sorry, I keep looking outside because people just walk past. I'm distracted. So that was one of the reasons. And also, it's very easy to get married in Jamaica. Now, we got legally married in Jamaica. There's two different ways: either legally married, or just like the kind of tradition. There's another word for it, but just the traditional part of it, where you're not actually signing any papers, you're not getting married. You may have a priest there, however, you may have a reception with other people, family, friends. The whole purpose of it was to get legally married. And in Jamaica, being a ex-British colony, it is quite easy from the UK to go and get married in Jamaica. I didn't know if we were going to get married, but all we just needed our passports, our birth certificates, any other documents. If your name has changed or anything like that, if you've been married before, anything like that, we needed those documents, and we needed to get them authorized or notarized by a solicitor. So we had to find a solicitor in the area. Yes, there is a cost for that. You have to photocopy everything. You have to send it by post to the company that is helping you with your marriage. And for us, it was sandals. Obviously not sponsored. I wish, but we worked with Sandals, who were amazing, like through and through. We had a whole marriage wedding team, and when we booked this trip, we booked a 10-night stay or a 10-day stay. We also booked a like room all-inclusive package, and it also includes a wedding package as well. And this wedding package, I think it was called the Sweetheart package, which is only for like 2 to 10 people, right? So it can be just you two, or it can be up to 10 people. They have a few different packages for bigger weddings. They even have a package of just you two. Um, our stay, this whole package, if we stay in a particular room, so if you stay in like an elite room or a butler room means you get your own butler. You get the wedding kind of free included in it, which was amazing actually. And we how much have we saved? We got so much out of it. We got a whole vacation, a whole trip. So that's what we did. We had a team, we had a couple of calls with them. We had like a little mini reception included, and they just helped with all of our legal documents. We did have a bit of a problem. It wasn't Sandal's fault, it was actually FedEx's fault, but they sent the documents to the Jamaican marriage wedding team in Sandals, and they lost our documents, so we had to do it all over again. But luckily, Sandals, they were very calm about it. I thought they called us about we can't get married anymore, but we just had to do it all over again. Luckily, I have the same solicitor here. We went ASAP. Luckily, me and my husband worked very flexible time, so we could literally get them done there and then. I knew the process now, and very kindly, they they covered any of the extra kind of fees and stuff, which was absolutely great. So, and that was literally like a week before we go. Usually, Jamaica needs your documents at least, I think it's like 60 days, at least like 3 months before you go. Bear in mind, we booked this trip like 10 weeks before. So we had to do things very quick, but it was so good that they could still get us married, especially with just us two. It was a very simple day. Now I thought like, oh yeah, we'll elope. Me and my husband will just wake up, we'll get dressed together, we'll go meet the priest, within a space in the resort, we'll sign some papers, done. Um, that's kind of what my partner wanted, but it was so much more than that, even though it's just us two. We literally, the wedding coordinator picked me up from my hotel room. So I went to get my hair done in the morning, and this is all in our resort. We stayed in Sandals Ochi, which is in Ocho Rios, and it's a massive resort. So on the morning of about 8:30, I had a hair appointment. I did my own makeup. If I had maybe other people there, I might have got my own makeup done, but it's just me and my husband. And also, I know my makeup's gonna disappear as soon as I get in the pool or the water. My hair literally, as soon as the wedding was done, tied my hair up to go into the pool. It was ruined, especially with the humidity. So I did my own makeup. I wanted it really natural. I didn't even wear lashes. I just had my lashes lifted. I got my hair done because that's one thing I'm not very good at, especially with the humidity. And then my coordinator met me in my room. My husband at this time, he got ready. We ordered room service because, we just didn't have time to go to breakfast. So we ate breakfast together. Once my hair was done, I came back, my partner got ready, and then they took him. He had his designated driver who took him in his buggy to the other resort, which is connected. It's just like a 2-minute buggy ride away. So he went there, met with the priest, all of that good stuff at our venue. And then my lovely coordinator, Chantel, met me in my room. About 15 minutes later, she told me not to put my dress on until she comes. And then she helped me put my dress on. I was a bit panicking. I was just a little bit nervous. My dress was like it was one shoulder. I was like getting it mixed up. She was like, it's fine. Like, don't panic. Nice and slowly. Take your time. Take your time. Absolutely amazing. It was so lovely to have her. She helped me put on my dress. She helped me put on my mother-in-law bought this, I can't even remember what you call it. But as my like something blue, she bought me this little thing that you put in your bouquet of flowers, and it had a picture attached, like a chain thing attached of my parents when they got married, just because none of my in-laws or parents were there with me. So it was so sweet. And I was a bit like, I have no idea how to do this, but I need to put this on my flowers. And she's like, don't worry, I'll put it on for you. She put that in my flowers. Um, and she took my bag. She made sure I was packed and all. And then she took me in the buggy. So it was me at the back, the driver, and her. We had some lovely, like lovely romantic music playing while we were driving through, the amazing resort, which is all just greenery and tropical. And then we got in a bigger, like, not van, but a bigger car thing. And she put me in there and she gave me my bouquet of flowers. And then we drove to the other side of the resort, the other venue. Um, and then we drove right up to the venue. So I didn't have to like come in and loads of people would see me. Nobody saw me. And then she held my arm. She gave me she held my bag. She took my engagement ring off as well. She was like, I'm gonna just keep your engagement ring. She did all of that. I didn't have to think about anything. And my hair was falling out a little bit. I had another pin back at my hotel, so she put that back in my hair. She pinned it together, and then she was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "You know what? I am a little bit." And then she walked me down the aisle. Well, not down the aisle. She walked me round this bit. And then she left me there. And she was like, when the music starts, I will give you a nod and just walk. And I will tell you when to stop. We'll take some photos. And then you continue just walking up to your groom. And that's what I did. The music started. There was a photographer there. He took some pictures of me, some candid ones. I walked all the way. We had this lovely location, and there's a few different locations you can get married in at this Sandals Ochi. And on our day one, when we arrived, we met with the wedding coordinator. We had like a meeting with her. She took us around the venue to about 3 different locations. Um, and there was like a couple. It was either the beach or this kind of the island gazebo. And in the end, I picked the gazebo because it was very private. The beach is like semi-private, and there was no sand, and the views from up there were amazing. And we got so lucky with blue skies and great weather, because the next couple of days after, we had a little bit of rain. So honestly, like, the best luck in the world. And yeah, and then I met my husband and it was cute and it was romantic. The priest was there. He was amazing. We didn't write our own vows. When we're just not that kind of couple. We're very simple. But we did simple vows. We repeated after the priest. We did the ring exchange. The photographer was there. We kissed. And all of that. And then it was done. And then the photographer took a few pictures. Um, we then sat down and we had 3 different songs that I chose. Can't remember what they were. When I came out, signed the paper, left. Um, and yeah, we signed the official document. We took some pictures of my partner signing the document, me signing the document as well. And then I'm trying to remember, it was such a whirlwind. And then I think we went to do pictures. So we left, we went to do pictures. I was a bit nervous about this, not because of me. I'm very used to being in the camera. But my partner, doesn't, not really camera kind of man, doesn't really like a lot of hoo-ha. But he built a nice kind of relationship and rapport with the priest and with the photographer before I came. He was there for quite a while. Um, so the photographer was amazing. He was part of Sandals, the photography team, and his name was Omar. So not cheesy, so amazing, like just absolutely just so funny. He knew my angles. He was like, yeah, we need your curves in there and your bum. And I was like, this man knows. And he was just so cool. And it didn't drag on. It wasn't unnatural. We didn't do loads of annoying photos from here, there, everywhere. We just did the lovely ones of the ring, my bouquet, just honestly so perfect. And I could not fault a single thing. And it didn't drag either. He was like, you can get some pictures of the beach if you like. But we were like, you know what? Like, I just don't want to be on the sand in the minute, at the minute with my heels on and stuff. And it was very, very hot. It was 11 in the morning. And then we went back to our gazebo area and they had set a little cute table. They had a cake cutting. We don't really eat that much cake, but for the pictures, we did a cake cutting. We toasted with champagne, which was really cute. And then we sat down and they had some canopies and stuff. Usually you sit and you eat cake, but we are not very cake people. So instead, they went above and beyond and they got some canopies for us, this amazing like shrimp cocktail, which was so much better, this like cheese little platter thing. Fruit, like, come on, like that's me. They had this little fruit salad. Like, those are my favorite things. And we both chose a signature cocktail. So we had a cocktail each. Mine was like a berry chambord kind of one. My partner's was like a rum kind of one. And then they left us and the music was playing. I FaceTime a family. We were just like chilling and chatting, and the breeze was there and the views were amazing. I was taking a few selfies, had a bit of champagne. And yeah, and then they came. Yeah, we did the cake cutting and thing after, I think. And then that was it really. And we decided to go back to our room. So they took us back to our room. They held all of our bags and stuff. And they bought like a little wedding package for us. We got little sandals. I'll put a little picture, little sandals, beach bag, which was my beach bag for the whole trip. They bought us our cake as well. So they bought us the top tier of our cake and all the cake sliced up. Gonna be honest, I ate like one slice of cake and then we didn't eat any other cake, but it's included in the package. They bought us this like meringue thing, and it was so cute. They gave us this like this on our door, which I'll put somewhere here as well. And yeah, then we just got back into our room, and honestly, like, our wedding was at 11 a.m. By like half one, I was in my Jamaica bikini by the pool, like with my tanning oil, right? With the reggae music playing. And we made a lot of friends who were like, okay, let's meet our friends. We can have some drinks with them and celebrate. And it was just the best day, right? We then had a lovely, like, we're in the resorts. We had a nice honeymoon dinner. It's just a normal, nice dinner. And lovely Italians that wore a white dress. They had like a circus show in the evening. So yeah, it was just an amazing day of just us two. And I had so much fun. I would not recommend it as much, like, more than I can. But my parents also were very, very understanding, very supportive, very, very chilled. And at the end of the day, my mom was like, you know, I just want you to be married because we live together. We're talking about starting a family, and she just wants us to be married. She doesn't care if I have a big wedding, a small wedding. But we are having a party, a reception, but it's a party. I just want a lot of alcohol, a lot of food, the dance for DJ for all of our friends and family. That's it. I think that's just the last celebration that we're doing in the summer, which I think will be really nice. And my partner's parents, again, they're not Indian, so they don't mind at all. They were very supportive as well. At the end of the day, you know, they know that it's what we want. Um, and if that's gonna, make us happy. And I just think a bit big Indian weddings these days are a bit of a waste of money. And I love going to Indian weddings, don't get me wrong. If you have all the money in the world and that's your dream, please do it and please invite me because I have the best time. However, I just hear a lot of things about, it's a lot of stress. People, you don't always enjoy your own wedding or remember it. It goes in a heartbeat. You get this massive like wedding blues after your aunties and everyone, the logistics. Someone's always moaning the logistics, especially if you've got international family trying to make everyone work. Like, I just can't be bothered. I run a business. That's my baby. My business is also health and fitness related. That is my other baby, making sure I am in the best shape I can. And my priority for the last 10 weeks, because I wasn't planning a massive wedding, was to get into the best shape of my life, imagining myself in the Caribbean, in that Jamaican bikini. Like, that was my whole vision, right? So apart from just planning my hen, I did a brunch. I did a bridal brunch, or bridal lunch, which had a bit of planning, but it wasn't too bad at all. We had a bit of the logistics and paperwork for our trip and the usual, planning outfits and stuff. But I tried not to go too crazy. I had a whole spreadsheet and I had to be really smart with the cost because it's very easy to go down this slippery slope of the rabbit hole. Um, and yeah, apart from that, I focused fully on getting myself into shape. There is no point in having the best bridal shower, lunch, best wedding, all these wonderful things if you don't feel confident, you feel like shit, you don't like the outfit you're wearing that bikini, but you're covering up, you don't really like it. Like that's a no-no for me. I am the best when I'm feeling healthy, confident, and getting those compliments in how I look in the dress and even my bikinis. You know, I met so many friends. We met so many people out there. Um, and you know, some of the lady people were just so nice and friendly, and they're like, "Girl, your body in that bikini," and oh my god, and it just makes it worth it, right? And I wish I could go back to the start where I was like stressing me, and my partner. You know, we had a little bit of a bicker. We didn't know what we were doing. You know, the wedding, like, what do we do? Do we want to elope? Do we want to have a wedding? But don't really want to do that. Like, it was a lot of back and forth, but I wish I could go back because knowing what I know now, it was all worth it. And I would do our wedding day again 10 times over. I would do the whole trip. It was so good. I've talked and rambled enough. So I'm going to do a part two probably next week on my fitness journey in a little bit more depth. Something exciting is coming again that I'm going to launch in April, especially for you brides. Now I can speak about it because I'm married. Before it was like I had to keep it a little bit on a down low because eloping and you know I have family on there and things like that, and it wasn't a secret, but you know what I mean. um but yeah, I will talk about my journey in 10 weeks and what I did with no crash diets, no fads. We didn't do excessive cardio. I didn't kill myself. I didn't starve myself. And it goes to show if you put in the hard work, you will get there. So thank you so much for watching. Honestly, if you have any questions personally on elopement, how it works and legislation, like we're not experts, but again, we didn't know anybody that's been through what we've been through or done elopements or anything. I don't see anybody online doing it. I don't know anyone. And I know couples who are like in their 50s now who did it a long time ago because their parents weren't happy and stuff. But our parents, you know, we have no family problems. They were happy, they were great. I have quite a few family abroad and stuff, but yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions, please either comment below or just drop me a DM on my Instagram. More than welcome, more than happy to reply and answer. And I hope you enjoyed that slightly different video, but yeah,